This is the brand new Tudor 1926 Luna. And in this video, we're going to be talking all about this watch, covering everything you need to know about this watch, including something pretty incredible. So over the years, we've had a really big focus from Tudor on the Black Bay range, the 58, the Black Bay Heritage, the Black Bay Pro, even the Pelagos. These have been the key lines from Tudor that they've been really hammering in terms of promotion. And as a result, they're probably the most popular lines from Tudor. But below the radar, kind of just gaining popularity really gradually, was the 1926 collection. There's a ton of 1926 Tudor models available. It's just that us in the watch community don't speak about them as often as others like the Black Bay. I mean, there's literally 58 current lines in the 1926 collection, which is insane. But today, literally about an hour ago, it's funny, Tudor just drop watches and you're like, oh, well, guess I'm just spending the day in the studio now. But literally about an hour ago, they released this. This is the 1926 Luna, and it's literally the first ever watch with a moon phase complication from Tudor. Now, they did release 3 new variants of this watch. You do have a beautiful blue dial, a champagne dial, or a black dial. My personal favorite here, and you guys are going to kill me, but I think it's the champagne dial. Seeing it on the, maybe it's just because I've seen it on the lifestyle model that's actually wearing it, but it looks really cool. Diving into the specs of these 3 models, they come in at 39 millimeters in diameter, 10.1 millimeters in thickness, which is absolutely insane for having this complication. That's so beautifully thin. And I often say that dressy watches, that the thinner they are, the better they wear, because thinness is so underrated. You could have a watch at 42 mil, which is technically too big for a lot of people, but if you get the right thinness, it wears wonderfully. These models come in full stainless steel, and they do have a 7-row satin brushed external link bracelet and the polished links running down the center. They have a folding clasp with a safety latch at the bottom of that bracelet, and the dial is kind of in this sun brushed pattern. It isn't just a flat dial, it's in a sun ray pattern. So as you reflect this in the light, we've seen this before from other brands, but as you reflect this in the light, it will kind of sheen and shift and change, which is cool. This model has domed sapphire crystal glass, making it look that little bit more vintage, and it's also waterproof up to 100 meters. And when you think of dress watches, technically speaking, when you think of dress watches, 100 meters of water resistance or waterproofness is actually quite good. I mean, there's watches out there that you can buy for 10, 20, 30,000 pounds that are essentially just splash proof. Now, when we actually look at the detail on the dials, there is a lot going on here. So for example, on the black variant, you can see that the hands and the numerals are actually in a tanned kind of gold champagne color. Whereas on the champagne dial, you can see that the hands and also the numerals are in black. Whereas on the blue color, you can see that they're in silver. And these kind of color themes actually work really well. Sometimes brands don't get this right, but Tudor have absolutely nailed this. I have to say, this looks sick. The date window is at the 3 o'clock mark, and also the moon phase complication is at the 6 o'clock mark. I have to say, on the subject of dials, and I'd love to know what you guys think here, but the champagne dial mixed with that black kind of matte hue of the hands and the numerals works so well. And by the way, please let me know in the comments which dial you prefer. I'd like to see which one is the most popular there. And while you're there, if you could do me a huge favor, if you do enjoy these videos and hit that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. Now, there is another surprise when it comes to this watch, and it's actually what's sitting beneath it. What is the beating heart of this watch? Because it's not what Tudor normally do. So for years now, Tudor have been manufacturing movements made by Kinesi in most Tudor models. That's because Tudor owns Kinesi, so technically it's like an in-house movement. Now, this movement has been slightly modified in this specific model, and it's now the self-winding caliber T607-9, and this has approximately 38 hours of power. Now, I can kind of understand why Tudor have done this. And by the way, just because watch manufacturers buy movements in does not make them bad movements. You'd never look at an Audi car and say, well, just because they've got their engine from Volkswagen means it's bad. It's brilliant. It's tried and tested, hence why they're buying in. This is a brilliant movement, but it's just kind of weird. I just find it a little bit strange that Tudor haven't made this in-house. They have brought their movements in. With that said, that is reflected in the price. So the price of this model is £2,210, which for a moon phase complication for the beautiful dial that you get on these watches, for the Tudor brand, for the complexity and the brilliance of the bracelet, which, by the way, is very, very good. Actually, this is insanely smart. And it's insanely smart for a couple of reasons. One of which is it's getting new people into Tudor which couldn't otherwise afford them. And secondly, it's getting younger people that are normally infatuated by the Black Bay or the Pelagos to actually look elsewhere because they can afford the 1926. It is a very smart move from Tudor. The big news here, guys, is that Tudor has released their first ever moon phase. And brands that innovate, brands that do things new, do things differently, and don't just release the same tried and tested formula, I can absolutely commend. I absolutely think that is awesome. But enough of what I think. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments of this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear your feelings on this model. Were you guys looking forward to, another Tudor Black Bay? Because I know that I was. But actually, this caught me by surprise. It's pretty cool. Make sure you follow our Instagram at Chisholm Hunter Watches or my Instagram at HBLifeLens, which is my personal photography account, or the podcast, the Into the Mind podcast. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have enjoyed, and I'll see you guys real soon.